A simple family photo taken during a peaceful weekend vacation becomes the center of a viral internet mystery when a mom finally looks closer at the background. Her heart skips a beat, and her world is turned upside down. What she discovers sends chills down her spine. It all started with a gentle hum from Sarah's phone, barely noticeable against the clattering of dishes in the kitchen sink. She barely registered the sound. She had just returned from a family weekend getaway with her husband, David, and their children, Toby and Ryan. They had gone to Redwood Ridge National Park, a place renowned for its majestic overlooks and rugged cliffs. Life snapped back to normal soon after the trip. Toby's soccer practice, Ryan's math homework, and David's usual work schedule. Sarah rinsed off a plate, glanced at her phone, and saw a couple of notifications from social media. She smiled, expecting the usual "beautiful family" or "great shot" comments on the picture she had posted from their vacation. But one message stood out. "Wow, did you notice the background? Unbelievable." But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Sarah frowned. She tapped on it, but found no immediate explanation. Just an encrypted link, which she assumed might be spam. Shaking her head, she set the phone aside. It was probably nothing. Little did she know that this tiny hint of a mystery was just the beginning. The following day was jam-packed with errands. Sarah dropped Toby at school early for spelling bee practice, then took Ryan to the pediatrician for a routine checkup. While waiting for the doctor, she pulled out her phone and noticed more notifications trickling in. "I can't believe what I see on the cliff. Who is that behind you guys?" She felt a slight pang of unease, but was too busy wrangling Ryan, who needed comforting after a shot. After the appointment, she zipped home to straighten up the house before her shift at the local gift shop. By evening, Sarah was exhausted. The notifications had multiplied, yet she was too drained to investigate. She skimmed through a few perplexing comments, mostly referencing "the strange silhouette" or "unseen figure in your post." None of it made sense. She assumed it might be internet trolls or bizarre illusions in the vacation picture. Shrugging it off, she decided to investigate later when she had more energy. 3 days after returning from Redwood Ridge National Park, Sarah was finally enjoying a rare moment of calm. Toby was in his room reading for school. Ryan was drawing pictures of mountains inspired by their recent trip, and David was catching up on emails. Suddenly, the phone rang, jolting Sarah. It was her close friend, Melanie, whose voice came through with unmistakable urgency. "Have you looked at your social media lately?" she asked. "I mean, really, looked?" Sarah's stomach tensed. "Not thoroughly. There's a bunch of weird comments about something in the background of our photos." "You need to check right now," Melanie said, half whispering. "Your vacation picture went viral. In a big way." Sarah's pulse quickened. Viral? She had no idea why or how. She switched to speakerphone, opened her social media app, and the barrage of alerts caused her phone to lag for a moment. Melanie continued, "People keep reposting your photo with these yellow circles or arrows pointing at the cliff behind you. They're saying it looks, well, it's either a person stuck on a ledge or something else entirely. But it's definitely not normal." Sarah felt a chill. She recalled seeing random comments, but never realized it had gone viral. I never actually zoomed in. I thought it was a glitch or a joke." "No joke," Melanie insisted. "Do you remember if anything strange happened during your hike? People keep mentioning a missing hiker. It's turning into a huge online debate." Sarah's heart fluttered with dread. A memory came rushing back. the set of keys she and her family had found near a precarious cliff edge at Redwood Ridge. She had handed them to a park staffer, worried someone might have dropped them, but that was just a minor incident. Right? Still, her mind raced with the possibility. Could these keys be linked to the figure in the background? Trying to connect the dots, Sarah's thoughts drifted into a deep recollection of their day at the national park. It was early morning when they set off. The sun had barely risen. Sarah had insisted they leave before dawn, hoping to capture the perfect shot of the ridges bathed in golden light. David teased her about being an aspiring photographer, but he happily drove while the kids dozed in the back seat. The roads curved around towering redwoods, the air cool and crisp. Sarah remembered the hush of the forest. Every once in a while, Toby would pipe up with a question about the wildlife, and Ryan would point excitedly at the tall trees. David was cheerful, just relieved to get a weekend away from work. Once they arrived, they stopped by the visitor center. Sarah asked a cheerful park staffer for tips. Where's the best spot to see the cliff views? The staffer recommended a trail leading to a rocky ledge overlooking a vast canyon. She also warned, be careful near the edges. The ground can be loose. Determined to catch the best vantage point, Sarah led the way. She had one specific goal, capturing a breathtaking family photo with the dramatic cliffs in the background. Halfway down the trail, Ryan spotted something gleaming on a rock near the path. It was a bunch of keys attached to a worn-out keychain. Someone must have lost these, Sarah told David. They're so close to the edge. Lucky no one fell searching for them. The kids peered over her shoulder, curious. Together, they decided the best thing to do was hand the keys in at the nearest ranger station after their hike. For now, Sarah tucked them safely into her backpack. When they finally arrived at the famous overlook, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The gorge extended for miles, layered with trees that shimmered in the morning light. A massive rock ledge jutted out, offering a panoramic view that was both stunning and terrifying. Sarah set up her phone on a small tripod, wanting to capture a family photo with everyone in the frame. Just as she was positioning the phone, she noticed a flicker of movement across the canyon, on an adjacent cliff face. A shadow? A reflection? Something caught her eye. She paused, blinked, but saw nothing definite. She brushed off the weird sense of being watched. After all, it was broad daylight, and they weren't the only tourists around. Probably just another hiker on a distant ledge, she thought. They lined up for the picture. Sarah set the timer and hurried back into position, Toby and Ryan giggling at her frantic dash. The phone clicked several times. Later, she quickly glanced at a couple of shots, satisfied with how clear and bright they looked. She didn't bother examining every inch of the background. She was too eager to soak in the scenery with her family. But now, as she stared at the viral photo, she pinched the screen to zoom in. At first, the pixels blurred, but as she looked closer at the background, she immediately turned pale. A shape began to take form. A person? Standing? Or precariously perched on a razor-thin outcropping of rock across the canyon? The figure was only partially visible, as though pressing against the cliff face. Online commenters had plenty to say. If you look closely, you can see a shoe. That's insane. This is terrifying. That spot is inaccessible. No safety rails. A horrifying possibility sank in. Someone could be trapped out there. Or worse,